Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Friday, May 13, 2022. We have a sun in Taurus and a waxing gibbous moon in Libra. We celebrate the abundance in our lives as we draw in the material resources that help us feel supported and secure, and we have an inner drive to seek balance, to know the factual truth of things, and to celebrate beauty wherever we find it. Rebellion-minded Uranus is also in Taurus, mostly since 2018. Many of our reliable sources for the things that we like, love, and can't get enough of have become less reliable, and we've had to learn to be flexible about where and how we get what we need. Fortunately, Venus rules Taurus and is currently transiting Aries, blending receptiveness with initiative. We're empowered at this time to pursue what it is that we desire, which actually makes us all more attractive or able to pull things in at this time. And being attractive, we can pull toward us those expanded physical resources we seek. North Node is also currently placed in Taurus, and this puts us in an insatiable frame of mind when it comes to the pursuit of material resources. This is yet another advantage we now have over that shifting landscape that Uranus in Taurus brings in. North Node in Taurus is also a reminder not to hoard all the gold or to forget our human connections in pursuit of goods. The waxing gibbous moon in Libra has us seeking balance, perhaps between this all-consuming focus on the retrieval of materials and the importance of our inner intuitive, emotional, and connected life. The full moon in Scorpio is coming up in just a couple of days, and the duality of the North Node in Taurus with the Sun and the South Node in Scorpio with the Moon will be palpable. By and large, the inner life and the skills and ways we already know we can rely on are less on our minds at this time, but this doesn't mean we can just ignore our relationships to ourselves, to our loved ones, and to spirit. Solar Beltane began on May 1st, and I mostly continue to mention this because the full moon this Sunday also brings the lunar midpoint celebration, or lunar Beltane. This will be a time to celebrate the increase of our bounty in the context of our homes and with the people that we keep close. Now I'm going to go ahead and get into the aspects. First, I will point out the handcrafted key on the right-hand side of the page. Most of the symbols on the page have made it into the key, so if you desire a point of reference, it's right here. I've otherwise divided the page into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon is the luminary that sheds light on our inner lives. This is about your relationship with yourself, what it feels like for you to be in your body, heart, and mind, and in your home. The transits and aspects the moon makes are all very brief, and they have a subtle impact on those things you think, feel, know, and intuit, but may choose whether to express. The sun is the luminary that sheds light on our outer lives, and this is the outward expression of yourself in the world. Specifically in your work, social, and civic spaces, I address the sun and the rest of the planet's movements on the side because they have a greater effect on that outward expression. And we begin with one single transit for the day on the moon side at 8:53 tonight. Central Standard Time, friends. Moon goes trine to Saturn. Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and Aquarius most likely to notice these vibes, but of course all of the aspects are for everyone and impact everyone in a slightly different way. We have the emotional fortitude at this time to deal with anything that comes up around the heart and home. We have strong interpersonal skills now, so if there's a tough talk you need to have with somebody, now is the time to do it. Or if you know that somebody's going through something and you really need to try to help them out, now is the time to deal with that stuff. Around 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock this evening will be the most ideal because it's trine, and trine gives us ideal functioning for good outcomes. On the sun side today, in the ongoing column, today is the last full day of influence for Mars sextile Uranus, which continues bringing us the positivity and the cooperative but competitive speed as we move through our shifts and changes. Aries, Scorpio, and Aquarius may especially be noticing this vibe. We've been graced with quick, intuitive decision making, and we can have fun watching our plans come together as we move through those changes and actively work them into being. Today is the last day for this vibe. It's been with us for a few days, so I would expect it to linger a little bit past today. You might still be noticing a little bit of ease of movement and agility to move quickly through the impulsive changes in the outer life. Mercury sextile Jupiter will be with us through the 28th of May. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces have ruling planets here. This month we have had and continue to have exceptional mental clarity regarding the big picture in our lives, what the big plan is. This is the time, or has been the time, to articulate the bigger, better, more complex and satisfying plan we envision for ourselves. Mercury has gone retrograde recently, so perhaps a little less on the articulation side and a little more analysis and strategizing are in order now. So commit to nothing while Mercury's in retrograde, but go ahead and plan for all the bigger potentials. Mercury is retrograde through the 3rd of June. And this is the intellect in an uncompromising sort of backwards slide. All the while, our attention will be shifting between our ability to elucidate our best ideas while Mercury is in Gemini, and then having to talk about and plan for our needs and desires in terms of material resources when Mercury moves back into Taurus. It will help us to be very patient with ourselves and others. It will help a lot to try more listening and less explaining. When we get slowed down or plans suddenly change, it can be very helpful to take a more passive or playful approach so that we don't wind up beating our heads against the wall of what we thought was happening, but which truly isn't happening. Remain flexible, friends. Practice some mental and emotional agility or flexibility, okay? Sun sextile Mars is here with us through the 4th of June. Aries, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio have ruling planets here. This influence wants us to feel alive and juiced up with the energy to act, to pursue, and to satisfy our physical drives. It lends us power and speed in the forward direction of our needs and desires becoming fulfilled. So even though this Mars sextile Uranus is on its way out, and we've been able to progress through these shifts and changes very quickly and with a lot of ease, we still get this sort of power boost, this our sense of initiative smashed together with the sun's light and giving us all sorts of speed and agility and forward motion. Sort of like if you got the star on Mario Kart, you get to drive a little faster. Then Mercury trine Pluto here through June 19th. Gemini, Virgo, and Scorpio, let us know your experience with this one. Now that Mercury is traveling retrograde, the guidance here is to pay close attention or to listen in a deep way to what our senses are telling us about the endings and beginnings that are either coming up for us or those that are already present in our lives. Pay attention to your intuitive impressions at this time. Trust yourself. They can be useful in strategizing your approach to the big changes that you're going through. And Pluto is in retrograde, so of course we're always going through big changes because Pluto's always in motion. Those transformations, those evolutions, those big, total, deep changes, they're slow. They don't just happen to one person at a time. They kind of happen to large groups of people. 6 months out of the year, Pluto is direct, and those transformations are visible sort of in the outer life. Six months out of the year, Pluto is more retrograde, and we have those transformations and evolutionary energies happening on the inside. So it's happening to a number of people, but if you realize that you're going through transformations in your own inner depths, in your subconscious, changes, deep, total changes of heart, then understand that the people around you are also going through that. And give people a little bit of a break, right? This is Pluto's final retrograde in Capricorn after it has been transiting Capricorn, my friends, since the 1990s. Pluto is in the home stretch now, almost done bringing endings and beginnings, transformational energies, deep and total change to our institutions and traditions. What worked in the old world often no longer works in the new world, and this is the evolution that Pluto and Capricorn brought for us. So, this final retrograde in Capricorn is bound to bring in some intensity for us as we go through some more shifts in our internal sense of what is going to work for us to achieve our goals and build something strong. This is also a time when the things that don't work, like bad habits, toxicity in our relationships, poor money management, these will be painfully clear to us. You know, it'll be like, this needs to come to an end. So don't worry, we have loads of initiative and momentum and power on our side at this time. The transformation is upon us, and we step boldly forward into the endings and beginnings that are coming our way. Because we have this new expanded idea of what we can be, do, and have. So it's appropriate time for these changes to be upon us. This Sunday brings the full moon in Scorpio, which is also lunar Beltane, or the moon's midpoint between equinox and solstice. There will also be a total lunar eclipse that night, visible in Central Standard Time just after 11 o'clock in the evening. And that's it for today's astrology, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like my video, subscribe, click the notifications bell. I post here every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. And friends, I truly appreciate it so much when you comment to ask questions or provide encouragement. I feel it, I see you do it, trying to participate and help me out, and I am very gratified for it. I'm very, what do I want to say? I have a lot of gratitude for you, but it isn't just gratifying for me to know that you're listening. It also lets YouTube know that you're engaged in the content, and that helps a lot as well, so thank you. Also, if you know anyone for whom this guidance may resonate, I encourage you to share. Sharing is caring. Now I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about Tarot as it relates to astrology today. First, I will discuss the Tarot card that sits on the side of the page. Then I'll do a quick rundown of today's astrology before throwing a random card that hopefully speaks to today's energies. So let's go ahead and get into it. The Tarot card that sits on the side of the page currently is the Seven of Pentacles. And Seven of Pentacles relates directly to the last 10 days, or the third 10 days of the sun's transit through Taurus, okay? So Taurus is an earth sign, and Pentacles are earth in the Tarot. So that's kind of how we get the link up there. And then Pentacles, I mean, this is really a time, like Sun in Taurus is a time when our roots have been put down, we begin to grow strong. And so you see, like, this person planted some sort of crop and their roots went down and they've grown strong and they're watching their crop grow. And it looks like, you know, that stuff is almost ripe. All those plans that you made, all those seeds that you planted, they're almost there. They're almost ready to be brought into fullness so that they have value for you, right? But they're not quite there. So this is a point of time where we've put in a lot of hard work, and through perseverance and diligence, we've watched our plans, our intentions, our goals grow into something that looks like they might actually have value for us. A lot of work has already been put in, but now is the time when we need to focus our efforts before we can reap the rewards, right? There's still more work to do. We have to sit and wait for those things to ripen and mature. We have to give them what they need, the plans or the plants, what they need to ripen and mature. We don't want to enact our plans before they are absolutely ready to be enacted, and before they are fully planned and ready to go. So, you know, don't go prematurely putting your plans out there and causing them to have less power for you, causing them to have less value for you, okay? Make sure they're full and ready, and then when you're ready to enact your plans, you know, there's work to do there too, okay? So there's a final couple of pushes we have to do there before we can just sit back and say, hey, yeah, I did this, look at me. So that's the Seven of Pentacles. Don't be impatient. Wait for things to come to their fullness. understand that you still have work to do before you can stop paying attention to this particular part, this particular phase of growth, right? And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle some cards while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Taurus. And like I said, sun in Taurus is a time when we've put down roots and we draw in resources to grow strong and healthy. And you can, that's as above, so below. You can apply that to any part of your life, but it's really about the material resources that you need to feel rooted and secure in the space where you are so that you can grow strong. Now, Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018 and will be there till 2026. So this really represents sort of a lot of shifting and changes in how we get the resources that we require to feel secure. We've had to become a little more flexible over the last few years about how we get what we need, and defining exactly what it is that we need as well. And then also the North Node currently is in Taurus, and the North Node isn't a planet, it's a point, but it's currently in Taurus, and it represents that thing that we avidly pursue, almost to the ignorance and detriment of all other things. And when North Node is in Taurus, it's avid pursuit of those material resources that, again, we need to feel grounded and secure. So Uranus and Taurus, at this time, kind of no big deal. Venus was working together with Taurus a little bit earlier this month. And then North Node there says, it doesn't really matter where I have to go to get what I need. I'm still going to get what I need no matter what. So, just remember with the North Node in Taurus that we are in this sort of hungry pursuit, insatiable pursuit for these resources that we like, love, and can't get enough of. And, it might be easy at this time to forget the other things that are going on in our lives, the things that matter to us, in terms of our heart and home, the things that matter to us emotionally and intuitively. So, don't hoard all the gold. Don't forget about your relationships, just in the interest of getting those resources, right? And then the moon is a waxing gibbous, almost full. It's in Libra now. It'll be in Scorpio when it's full on Sunday. Call the question. This is a time when we are acting to enact our plans, but this is also a time when we can question what the plan is a little bit and, make a judgment and, move forward according to what the facts seem to represent, regardless of what the plan was to begin with, right? So the plan can shift and change at this time. We have a lot of ease to make progress through making changes at this time. So, if anything about your plan is being called into question, just go ahead and ask the question, make a judgment, and then, move forward on enacting those plans so that you have a culmination that you can celebrate this Sunday with the full moon. On the moon side of the page today, we had one aspect, moon trine Saturn. Trine represents ideal, harmonic, the best, most positive possible functioning between the moon, your inner life, your emotional and intuitive life, your domestic life, and Saturn, your sense of stability and security, the structures and networks that you rely on for security and validation, and your responsibility to maintain them. So this trine functioning gives us very good emotional strength and fortitude, strong interpersonal skills. If there's a tough talk we need to have right now, or if we really need to establish some boundaries with somebody at this time, this is the time. That's the ideal functioning time for that, okay? Between about 9 and 11 this evening. And then Mars, on the sun side of the page, we have all ongoing aspects. Mars is in two of these aspects, and this really represents, initiative, momentum, spark, fire, our ability to get things started and to act on things, okay? This has been, kind of speeding through changes and having fun with it as we do, making progress through making changes, being able to change things up quickly without a lot of problems or drama. And in fact, it's been working for us a little bit. Now, this is the last day for that full effect, but we still have this Sun sextile Mars down here that says, you get this power boost. You sort of, the Sun just sort of amplifies what Mars is doing, all that initiative, all that speed, all of that assertion, our ability to make conquest toward our goals is great right now, and great during the full moon, the culmination to the full moon. So that's kind of exciting for me, and I'm feeling it. Mercury is in retrograde right now, so we listen and plan more, and we talk and commit less, right? So it's not as though Mercury isn't still working, but we don't have as much fast forward ease of functioning with our intellect at this time. So the intellect needs to sort of sit back and pay attention to what's going on, and strategize and listen more than it needs to be forward and trying to just make things happen. Mercury sextile Jupiter says, you got to strategize to execute the big plan, but there's definitely a big plan. Jupiter's been working with us a lot lately, just asking us to have an expanded idea of what we can be, do, and have. Jupiter is in Aries right now, so we really become interested in ourselves and really interested in our own big ideas and plans, and we have the assertiveness to get to that personal growth that we've been seeking. And then Mercury trine Pluto, this is beautiful because this is the intellect. This is our ability to see and consciously sort of cognate what is going on in the subconscious, so or like in our gut and in our heart. So listen to your intuition and trust what your gut is telling you at this time. This trine functioning is the most ideal functioning for you to be able to speak, yes, but also just to plan and think about what it is that's coming up in your heart and what's coming up for you in terms of deep and total change of endings and beginnings, right? Pluto is also retrograde at this time. So when Pluto is direct, we're going through evolutions on the outside. Evolutions are big. They affect more than one person. They affect large groups of people. When Pluto is retrograde, still affecting large groups of people, but affecting us on the inside. So we're all going through changes together at this time. And with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this card. Oh, friends, we got the Lovers. I love that. I love the Lovers. I love love, guys. So, the Lovers is a major arcana card in the Tarot. And it sort of speaks to more major life events or more major life energies, right? The Lovers represent sort of duality. It's a kind of a Gemini card. You've got traditionally you've got the sort of masculine versus feminine. You've got the sort of Garden of Eden feel, like the first couple that ever fell in love. Sometimes, like when you do fall in love with somebody, you feel like nobody's ever felt this way before. Nobody can possibly ever know how this feels, right? So there's that sort of feeling that comes with the Lover, this extreme attachment to sort of one person, and the duality, the complementary opposites that are present in a lot of relationships that play out this way. The Lovers also warns of temptation, though. Not to allow your whatever it is that you are currently obsessed with. And this sort of makes me think of North Node in Taurus, right? Which is ruled by Venus. Venus is about the love. It's about receiving, right? But North Node is about sort of voracious pursuit. So it's possible to ignore the other things that are important in your life because you have found a way to receive something that feels really good to you, right? So again, a warning about being overly materialistic, a warning about, ignoring your family life, your work life, your social life, your civic life, ignoring the rest of your life if you've found something in your personal life that really feels fulfilling. But if you found something in your personal life that feels fulfilling, but it's it's making you ignore other things that are actually good for you, that actually do bring you in the resources that you need. Keep that in mind is all I'm saying. It's great to have a strong attraction, and it's great when you find a way to fulfill a need or a desire that seems bottomless and that seems like entirely reliable and dependable. But we cannot rely on just that one source alone. And Uranus and Taurus tells us that. But also, like just one person can't be everything for us, and that's important to remember as well. In context with not that I'm discouraging falling in love with anybody at all. And if you fall in love after seeing this, please tell me. Or if you're falling in love right now, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about that because I love the love. Taken together with the Seven of Pentacles, let's see. I would say, this is a look of sort of intense focus, and these two also have a look of sort of intense focus. So remember to keep paying attention to that source of abundance that you are working on, okay? Don't get distracted by something else at this time. Remember to remain focused on that source of value and abundance that you are working on, because you still have work to do over here. And if you let something distract you at this time, even if it's something that feels like it might be more fulfilling, you're going to lose the value of this thing you've put a lot of your own physical labor and perseverance and diligence and love into. I believe that's all I have to say about it at this time. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I truly appreciate you being here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.